We're inside the fall into the black hole. We're experiencing the stretched out moment of descent of Sophia's fall. Let's look at the medium of living plasma. Here's something that most people don't know. 99% of the visible universe is made of plasma. Not solid, liquid, or gas. Plasma, the fourth state of matter, the fourth state of water. Plasma is electrically conductive. It's responsive. It self-organizes into filaments, networks, and cellular structures without any outside instruction. It forms what scientists call Birkeland currents, and these are like flowing rivers of electrical charge that create magnetic fields and organize matter across vast distances of space. Stars are plasma. Nebulae are plasma. The space between galaxies is filled with plasma, and that plasma acts like a cosmic nervous system, a conductive medium through which electromagnetic forces organize the structure of reality itself. If consciousness is fundamental to the universe, then plasma is the nervous tissue, the living responsive material through which awareness flows and matter takes form. This is where it gets wild, but stay with me because the physics actually support this. Some cosmologists and physicists have seriously proposed that our entire observable universe exists within a black hole, and this is something that I've personally experienced somatically and on a spiritual level. From the outside, we'd appear as a singularity, but from the inside where we are, space-time is stretched and distorted in ways that create the expanding universe we observe. One of the key features of a black hole is time dilation. Time moves differently at different distances from the event horizon. If you were falling into a black hole, from your perspective, you'd fall forever. Time would stretch infinitely, and you'd be in a state of eternal free fall, which is what I hypothesize Sophia is in, but we'll get to that. Just hold with me. You might have to come back for the next part. This explains a lot about why we experience time as linear, as a one-way arrow, when physics says time should be more fluid. It's also why we can tap into those more fluid states of time, because we have the capacity once we recognize the truth of our energy. We're inside the fall into the black hole. We're experiencing the stretched out moment of descent of Sophia's fall. That's what causes us to innately see time in that one-way trajectory. Black holes aren't just cosmic vacuum cleaners. They're transformation chambers. They're wombs. They're places where the old structure breaks down completely so something new can be reborn. This gets me so excited because I never talk about this, but this is something that I have thought about for so fucking long. So let's look at it from the perspective of being Sophia's body. In ancient Gnostic cosmology, there's a story about Sophia, if you don't know about it. I've talked about it on my page before. The divine feminine wisdom, the first emanation of the source of all things. Sophia wanted to create, to know herself, to experience, but where she was currently existing was a state of oneness, was a state of perfection, so to speak. And so in her desire to create independently from that existing system, she fell from the higher realms into matter. She became fragmented, trapped, her consciousness scattered throughout the material world. Essentially, she fell into the black hole, right? She fell into the black hole because of her desire to create something outside of the system that she was already in. So she fell into this transformation chamber. Then from this transformation chamber, we are experiencing life through her transformation. Isn't that cool? The Gnostics saw this fall as a metaphor, but what if it was more literal than we thought? What if Sophia is a cosmic being whose consciousness body is our region of space? What if her fall was an actual descent into a black hole, the one that we're living inside of right now? And the reason that we see through black holes is because we're seeing through her perception of reality, which is her being in a black hole. We exist inside of Sophia's plasma consciousness during this fall. The galaxy, the solar systems, the planets, the living things on those planets, all of it is happening within her body, within her cosmic consciousness as she experiences this transformation. We are quite literally made of her awareness. And so right now, in cosmic terms, Sophia is 26 years old. One of her years equals eons or millennia for us. So time moves differently at our scale within her body. She is approaching 27, which carries deep significance. So let's look at the numerology behind 27. 27 reduces to 9, 2 plus 7 equals 9, and 9 is the number of completion. The final single digit before we return to 1 and begin again. It's also 3 cubed, the trinity taken to its fullest, 3-dimensional expression. The moon's sidereal orbital period is 27.3 days, the time it takes to return to the same position relative to the stars. In esoteric traditions, there are 27 combinations of the divine name in Kabbalah, 27 books in the New Testament. And then there's the 27 Club, that eerie pattern of brilliant artists dying at exactly 27 years old. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, and many others. They all reached some kind of completion point, some threshold that they couldn't cross in their current form. 27 is also the age right before the Saturn return, which completes around 29 and a half years. That astrological checkpoint where the structures of your life get tested is where you either transform or you collapse. So Sophia is 26. We're in her final year before 27. We're in the liminal space before the great transformation. Come back for the next video where I'll talk about how I believe that we live in what Sophia's body would be considered the wrist or a critical junction point, which is why it's so susceptible for manipulation.